G'day everybody, doing a little video today on something a bit different. Got this Porta Power ram here. I've had it for, well, Dad's had it for years and he gave it to me and I had it at work. And I've only used it once, and that one time I went to use it, it didn't work because all the seals in this thing had just, not corroded, but fell apart because it's just cheap Chinese crap, as most of these Porta Powers are. So I finally went and bought a seal kit for it, and I'm going to rebuild the ram today, and hopefully it'll work and it'll actually be able to be used, because it's just a waste of time having it if it doesn't actually work. So this will be a little video on how you go about overhauling these rams and putting a seal kit through it, and we'll see how it goes. So first things first, just going to pull it apart. So it just unscrews in two sections. That's pretty much it right there. So there's the ram pretty much, and here's the seal. So this is what comes in the kit, all your main seals and O-rings. So I'll put a link in the description of where I got it. I think it was about $20 Australian. I'll put a link in the description where you can get that if you ever rebuild on your own. Okay, so spring attaches inside your ram here where your oil connection fitting is, and there's a little roll pin in there you got to pull out to release that spring. That's how you would detach this section into two. So you got to do that before you can move on. Then once you've done that, you undo this circlip, which retains this nylon seal and the O-ring in there, and then you're able to get those off as well. And you pull off this ring here, which is where your O-ring and that seal sit. So with this one, it's got this plastic outer part for this seal. So this one whole seal here replaces these two parts, I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping that's how it works, because this is what they've given you in the kit. So we'll put that one on with the spacer here. That needs to sit that way, so when the oil pushes up against it, it opens up that seal and creates a sealing surface on the piston, and that'll stop it from leaking. So make sure that you put the seal on this way. If you put it the opposite way, all the oil will rush past it and it won't work. Alright, so with that seal on there, we can put the circlip back on now. Now once you get your circlip back on, that's ready to go back into this end of your Porta Power. So slip that hook back through. And then you just got to get your roll pin and tap that back through. Just need to use a little screwdriver to pry it back and push it down into the hole. Got a spring load that doesn't quite sit properly. And then once you've done that, we can put this fitting back in, and then we can reassemble the rest of it. So we'll whack a little bit of Teflon tape on the thread as well, just to help it seal nicely. Alright, that's back on now. So we can reassemble the sleeve back onto it. Just put a little bit of hydraulic oil onto this. Get it nice and lubed up, make sure nothing's going to catch on anything and damage itself. There is also an O-ring on this section of threaded part here. I don't even worry about replacing it because she was in pretty good nick still. Just need to get that up as tight as you possibly can. Okay. And you just slip your rubber boot back on over the top. That's just on there to protect it a little bit. Now that is theoretically ready to test, and we'll see whether or not it's going to work. Hopefully the pump's still alright. If the pump's not working properly, we'll overhaul that bit as well and check all the seals in there. But that's how you do the ram side of it. So we'll hook it up to the pump and we'll give it a try. Okay, so that's all hooked up now. We'll see whether or not it's going to work. May have to put some oil in the pump, but we'll just see what it does to start with. There she is popping out. That's a good sign. Popping out a little bit too shuddery, but we'll extend it all the way and see what happens. Okay, that's as far as it's gonna go. I'm pretty sure that's as far as it does go. So we'll just release that. It's a bit shuddery because it hasn't been used in so long. That's all right though. We'll give it a couple more pumps to free her up a little bit. Okay, it seemed to go a little bit smoother that time. Because it's got the new seal in there, it's going to be grabbing a little bit. So once it sort of wears itself in and smooths everything out a bit, that should pull in and out a bit easier. But that doesn't really matter. Alright, this has been rebuilt now. So that's the basics of how you overhaul the ram on your Porta Power. It's pretty simple, like there's not much to it, just a couple of seals and a couple of O-rings. Yeah, that's all back together. As we saw, we tested it, that's working, so that's all good, well and good. And that pump's working alright, so I don't need to touch that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Woo!